and welcome back to my channel. So, spooky season has come upon us. I don't get too spooky because I get really scared, but this kind of spooky is what I'm talking about. I love glam. I like skulls. As long as it's not bloody gory, I'm all about it. I have been wanting to film a skull look for a while. I dipped into a skull look last week, but I didn't film it because I was intimidated and I was also sick. So this week I'm feeling better and I just put a whole bunch of glitter on my face. I hope you guys are excited to watch it. I thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited to be back this week. Let me go ahead and show you how I got this awesome glam glittery skull. See you over there. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a couple weeks. I say that all the time, but I've had the worst sinus congestion. I still sound a little crazy, so please ignore that, but I'm feeling so much better finally. I am excited to be back doing videos. Halloween is upon us. It is spooky season, and I thought, why not go ahead and jump into a skull tutorial, right? Last week, I think it was last week, yeah, last week-ish, I did a pink skull, and I did not film that because your girl struggled. I didn't have the right products on hand and everything to do that, so I may film that later on if I get time before October is over, but I thought today we would do a glam glittery skull. This is my inspiration picture. I cannot find the original artist, so if you know who this is, please let them know. I like to give credit when credit is due. This skull is amazing, and I thought I would put my own little flair into it and film it for you guys. So, I guess we'll just get started on that then. I did put on foundation, so I'd have an even base, and I just lightly powdered that, and I did go ahead and fill in my brows. I do think I should go back over my lips with some foundation just to cover up the color, because I had to eat a snack after I put on my foundation. Y'all know how that is. So they kind of blend in with my face. And then I'll run my powder brush over them as well. I'm definitely not the best at Halloween makeup, but I wanted to dip into it and see where I could go with it. You know, practice makes perfect, so I thought, why not? I thought for this tutorial, I would kind of try to use things that everybody might have on hand. I know I am such a procrastinator, and I never have time to run out and grab something just to do a Halloween look. I'm usually doing it last minute, and I live in the boonies, so you have like a Walgreens to choose from, and they don't always have what you need. That's why I had so much trouble with my pink skull last week. I could not find the products that I needed. So I'm going to try to use just eyeshadows and a white cream base that I got from the drugstore, and we'll see how this turns out. To start off with, you want to make sure that you lay down your shading before you do any of your darker colors. So for that, we are going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. I'm going to first dip into Raw Sienna, right here, this bottom corner shade, and I'm going to lay that down as like my first crease shade. Ignore my brushes. They got stained from that skull look I did a couple weeks ago. I cannot get this pigment out. That really sucks. A good bit of Raw Sienna on that brush. This is a Luxie 205. We're going to keep this pretty high in our crease. Now this look is going to look kind of crazy as we go. Trust me. With this shade, you again want to keep it really pretty high up in your crease. You want to put a good bit on, and you want to bring it over here to get those kind of frown lines. If you're not sure where to place your product, just kind of scour your brow, and that'll show you where you need to take that shading to. You also want to take this over in your inner corner and down on your lower lash line. Making sure you're really blowing out that pigment. And so we're going to just keep following the steps like we typically would with a smoky eye. We're just taking it into kind of different territory on our face. To continue on like we typically would with a smoky eye, we're going to go in with another transition shade before we dip into our black on that same Luxie 205 brush. I think I want to use Warm Taupe right here from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. Run that kind of below the other shade that you have, but still not exactly onto your lid, and it's okay if you don't get it in the exact spot. the thing about a skull look is that it doesn't have to be perfectly precise. You're going to do the same thing with that shade. Carry it up above your brow and below your lower lash line. You do want to make sure that you start in the crease and then use your excess product to go up into the brow so you don't get a ton of product up there in that brow area, because you just kind of want that to look more shaded than you do pigmented, if that makes any sense. I'm not good at explaining things. Once you have that blended out pretty well and you look pretty crazy, you're going to go in with your black shade. I think I'm going to use a MAC 217. I may change my mind in the middle of this because I'm an indecisive bitch, but that's okay. I am going to dip into Noir from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette on that MAC 217, and I'm going to pack this all over this area. Really load it up, knock off your excess product, and just kind of pack it onto that lid. I'm going to continue that shade up in here as well. Now you don't want to cover up your, what is this called? Transition shade, your shading. So you just want to keep it kind of closer inside, and you're also going to take that, of course, below your lash line. And this will take some packing and blending, so give yourself time for that. It's okay if it takes a few minutes because black shadow is really hard to build up to get such a pigmented look. The 217 is working quite well for my upper lid, but for my lower lid, it's kind of blowing it out a little too far. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back in with that matte, what is this, Luxie 205, back into my transition shades just a little bit, not much pigment at all, and I'm going to lay some pigment down below that black. And I'm going to go in with this brush. I don't know what it is. I wish I did, but it's shaped like this. And I'm going to put some of that black pigment on it and really pack that on my lower lash line. Alright, I'm pretty happy with the depth of that black. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the other side. You see how I kept it kind of dark right here, but then I feathered it up and blended it out a little lighter? That's going to give you that shading that you're really looking for. Okay, it's going to look like it didn't take me long at all to do that because of editing, but I promise I did like 5 layers of black shadow. So just keep building, baby, until you get it dark. You want to make sure that it is a super dark shadow because you want it to not show any of your skin through. And I will say I went back through and added a little bit of my transition shades as I went because I covered a few of them up. Just add them in as you feel necessary. If you cover up a little bit, just blend below it with your transition shade brush. I did add a little more in here, and I went over it with this brush. This is a Luxie 522 tapered highlighting brush. It was just a clean brush, and I just went over it lightly to blend out those lines a little better and give it the faded look like the inspiration picture has. Now it's time for the hardest part, which is the teeth. This is a pretty time-consuming process, but I'm going to try to simplify it for you guys as much as I can. But it is time-consuming. I'm just going to use a shadow. I don't like to use a cream base. Sure, it might sometimes give you a better pigment, better color payoff, but I have to work tomorrow, and I don't want my face to be stained with black pigment. So I am just going to use a shadow. I'm just going to put that black shadow on this Luxie brush. It is a 215 small angled brush. So it just looks like that. And it is really good for drawing out where you want your cheekbone and your teeth lines to be. So you basically just want to take your brush, and it's kind of hard to do where I'm not using a cream base. Typically I would use a white cream base and highlight what I need to highlight first, but I'm not doing that. So I'm just going to kind of roughly map out where I'm going to place my black at and fill it in. I'm going to start back here at my temple, and I'm going to bring that down kind of along my cheekbone and into the teeth area. fill it in very lightly at first, and then I go back and make sure that's where I want the line to actually be before I make it any darker, so that if it's not in the right place, I can cover it up with concealer. That I do mess up, I just take my finger with my favorite concealer, whatever concealer I have laying around, make sure it's pretty light, close to your skin tone, and I just dab it over the line that I messed up, cover it with powder. The inside of these lines don't need to be too precise because we are going to fill them mostly with black. You just want to watch these ones around the front where we're going to be putting the teeth. Once I have that pretty well mapped out, there are several places that I messed up, but it's okay because it'll kind of flow with the look once you get your teeth and everything on. But I am going to go ahead and make my lines to start with my teeth, and I'm going to use this Tarte bamboo liner brush, the angled end. This brush is just so teeny and perfect for tiny little details. And again, I'm going to go into that noir shade from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. You just want to take that from the inner corner of your lip and extend it out just past this little part right here that you've made for your cheekbone. Before I start on the teeth, I am going to go ahead and do my nose. This is a really tricky part. I'm honestly not very good at it, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to use that same bamboo liner brush with that noir shade. To start out with, for the nose, you're basically going to draw a V with your black shadow in the center of your nose. Like so. And then you're going to fill in all around it. I did finish outlining the nose with that Tarte bamboo liner brush, but now I'm going to go in with this pencil brush to fill in the middle. So now we're going to go ahead and dive into the teeth. I'm going to go ahead and fill in this area right here with black. I'm going to keep it pretty dark back this way, but then once I get closer down here, I will kind of fade it. And I did go ahead and add some shading along my jawline, and I figured I should key you guys in on this. I'm going to go ahead and add some around my forehead as well. Just kind of around like my temple area, just to really tie the look in. Still using that black shade from the Anastasia palette on this brush here. I think I am going to go ahead and kind of shade around the top here with the same shade I used around my eyes, just to make sure that it has definition. This is really a gamble. I don't know if I should do this or not, but I think it needs more dimension, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. On this Luxie 235, go ahead and shade around the bottom area of this with the two shades that I used in my crease before. So that was Raw Sienna and Warm Taupe. Ran that transition shade along most of my face. So I ended up taking along the edge of my forehead where I put that black along the bottom and top of both cheeks here. And I really think it just gave the look a whole lot more dimension. Now we can finally do the teeth. I am going to go ahead and take some of that transition shade and run it along my lips so that it's already there. And after I pencil in the teeth, I can just go in with the glitter. Back in with this Tarte bamboo liner brush that we used for all of the other little details on my face, and I'm going to draw in those teeth. I can't really explain to you how I'm doing it because my mouth has to be closed. I may do a voiceover for that part, but really it's simple to follow along and just make sure you follow the lines where I put them. Do not stress about your teeth being perfect. It won't be all that noticeable once you add your glitter and all of that other stuff that you're going to add to your face. Just try to get them in the right spots. Okay, so I got the rough sketch of my teeth. Of course they look crazy because I'm not done yet. But I am going to go back in and add some more pigment to the end of that, I don't know, right here. Add some more of the transition shades into that just to blend everything together. To define my teeth a little bit, I'm going to go in with this Urban Decay Razor Sharp Liner. I think the name of this is Space Cowboy. Yes, so, and I'm going to use that between my teeth before I lay the glitter down. Okay, so I just went ahead and applied that in all the lines that I have drawn here for my teeth. Now I'm going to add some in my inner corner. Now we get to add glitter! So, but I think I am going to go with this one. It's called Champagne Wishes. This is by Star Crush Minerals, and I'm going to use this NYX glitter glue to apply it with. So to apply the glitter, William! Oh my goodness. What is it for? My cat's not going to let me finish filming this. Okay, so for the glitter, I'm going to go in with this Luxie brush. This is the same angled brush that I used earlier. It's a 215. Oh my god, he's climbing up my back. William! I'm going to dip the brush in the glue here that's on my arm. Then I'm going to dip it into the glitter and apply it to the spaces between my teeth first. Now we have to add the glitter to our lid and our brow, and we will be done. Hey, we have all of the glitter on. I'm actually really loving how this is coming out. I'm going to throw on some lashes, and then I will be right back to show you guys the finished look. Lashes are on. I am obsessed with this. This is the final look. I love how it turned out. I'm not into the gory side of Halloween, but the glam, a little bit spooky side of Halloween, I love. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. So it's not exactly the original look that I had showed you guys that I have for inspo, but I just kind of took it and ran with it in my own way, I guess. I added a few more shadows and a couple of extra things here and there, but I love it. I'm so obsessed with it. The glitter just makes me so happy. And my favorite part about this look is that I was able to do it with just products that I have lying around. So like an eyeshadow palette that I use in my everyday life and just some glitter and things like that is what I use to get this look. And that's so handy for Halloween when you're like last minute, need a costume, and you can't run out and buy anything. You have everything sitting at your vanity to get this look. Hope you guys liked it too. I will probably be doing more of these if I could squeeze them in before October is over. Know in the comments below if you'd like to see some more content like this. I would be happy to film it. If you guys decide to recreate this, please tag me in it. I want to see it. My Instagram and my Twitter are the same handle as my YouTube, Contour Me Katie. I'll be sure I link them in the description below, along with all the products I used on my face today. I thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching me. I truly, truly appreciate it. You have no idea. Tag me in your Halloween looks. I want to see everything. I hope you guys have a great Halloween, and I will see you later.